Well, it's March 4th, 2026. I'm Brittany Noble, and here's what's coming up on The Breakdown. Jasmine Crockett is raising alarms after a chaotic primary night in Dallas County, claiming Republican-led polling changes may have disenfranchised voters. And a growing movement focused on healing and connection for Black millennials. The founder of Purple Rose Petals will join us today on The Breakdown, and we'll also have a conversation about healing, accountability, and emotional wellness for men. The founder of Men to Heal joins us to talk about breaking stigma, supporting mental health, and creating safe spaces for men to grow. The Breakdown starts now. Well, voters in 3 states made their voices heard on Tuesday as the 2026 midterm season officially kicked off across the country. People in Arkansas, North Carolina, and Texas casted their votes at the polls. In Arkansas, Black Democrat Fred Love won a spot on the ballot in November. He will challenge Republican Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders for her seat later this year. Love beat out fellow Black Democrat supremacy Mays in North Carolina. White Democratic Governor Ray Cooper will face off against former Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Whatley during general elections. And in Texas, voters watched a close race for the Democratic seat. State Representative James Talarico defeated U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett, a firebrand known for taking on Republicans in Congress. Talarico took the stage at 1 a.m. this morning to declare his win. Now, Jasmine Crockett is suggesting that the GOP rigged her Democratic primary election, saying this is what Republicans like to do. During her speech to supporters last night, Crockett said there was a lot of chaos and confusion with voting ballots in Dallas County after the state Supreme Court ruled in an emergency decision against her campaign's request to give voters an extension to sort out the uncertainty about Republican-led changes to polling locations. The ruling came after the higher court knocked down a lower judge's ruling to keep polling places open longer, mandating that any votes cast after the initial closing time must be separated. Republicans and Democrats did not hold joint primaries, leading to polling location restrictions that Democrats like Crockett claimed were disenfranchising voters.
But I can tell you now that people have been disenfranchised. The reason that we knew that there were problems is because we were receiving the phone calls and the emails. The polls were supposed to stay open until 9, according to a court order. The Supreme Court, just a few minutes ago, just said, shut it down. The Supreme Court also said that they are to separate any votes out that came in after 7 p.m. So here's the deal. I have no idea how it is that clerks are going to know who was in line by what time, because the rule is that if you're in line by 7, then you get to vote. And so once there was a court order saying you had until 9, I'm sure that there were people that joined the line after 7. They now are telling them that you have to separate the votes out. What this means is that we will not know what votes are to be tallied from Election Day out of Dallas County. For sure, we won't know that tonight. So knowing that Dallas County is a big dump of votes, we, in my opinion, will not know the election results overall tonight. We need to see the Dallas County votes to see where they are. I mean, if the early vote comes in, which we may have the early vote soon, if it comes in and I'm losing Dallas County, then we know kind of where this thing is going. So that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So, I want you to enjoy yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow. So, I love y'all too. Thank you so very much for being here. Love you down. I love you down, Dallas.
Well, under Texas law, party leaders can object to conducting their primaries together at the same locations and through the same equipment. And in Cleveland, police say the bodies of 2 young Black girls were found stuffed inside suitcases and buried in shallow graves on the east side of the city. The discovery was made by a dog walker who stumbled across the first body in the area of East 162nd Street and Midland Avenue. The person notified police around 6 p.m. on Monday. As investigators were searching the area, homicide detectives found a second shallow grave with a suitcase that contained another body. Cleveland Police Chief Dorothy Todd says that the girls were in the area that does not get a lot of foot traffic, and authorities believe one of the girls is between the ages of 8 and 13, while the other one between the ages of 10 and 14. So far, neither has been identified. The bodies are in the custody of the county medical examiner's office. The girls have not been linked to any active missing persons cases in the area. Todd says authorities have no leads or suspects and ask anyone with information to call the Cleveland Police Department's homicide unit at 216-623-5464.
Yeah, no updates. Still, everything's the same, but we are getting some help from some people who are in decision-making positions. But there's nothing you can do when you can still hear, the things that are going off, the sirens and everything that goes on in a war zone.
Well, that was South Carolina women's basketball coach Dawn Staley giving an update to reporters after a game on Sunday. She's still working to get 3 former players out of Israel. Shortly after the joint United States-Israeli strikes on Iran on February 28th, Staley posted on X that Tiffany Mitchell, Makai Herbert, and Destiny Littleton are in a war zone in Israel, writing, "We are working on a plan to get home. Let us pray for our loved ones to return safely ASAP. Thank you in advance." Littleton is also keeping supporters in the loop, posting several videos to her Instagram account. Here's a bit of what she had to say.
Update, we are getting some fresh air. We just had a shelter-in-place moment, so we're trying to just get some fresh air before another siren goes off. And my legs are feeling like I've been in an airplane all day, so it's just been a lot of sitting around and waiting for sirens to go off. These last couple kabooms that went off were really, really loud and shook the building. So that was fun. Yay, us. But yeah, we're just getting some fresh air and gonna go get something to eat. It's a 2-minute walk, so we're not going far. So we have to hurry and try to beat the next siren, because as soon as the siren goes off, we gotta be somewhere safe. So that is what we're doing now. Keep you guys updated.
Well, a Black Pennsylvania mother says she was racially profiled when a local white police officer pulled her over after she handed her son a coffee cup. The incident happened January 15th after Bianca Tatum dropped her son off at home. The Fairview Township police officer pulled Tatum over, accused her of engaging in illegal transaction after she handed her son the cup. The officer even asked her, "Do you have any crack?" Tatum recorded the encounter.
Doing over in New Cumberland right over there.
Dropping my son off.
Okay. What'd you hand off to the gentleman that walked back in the house?
His coffee cup.
His coffee cup?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm tired of him leaving his mess in my car.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything illegal in the car?
You want to search it?
I mean, if you want to let me search it.
Like, what do y'all think we did a transaction or something?
Well, that's what it looked like.
Because we're Black?
No. I couldn't see in your car. Your window tints too dark.
Okay,
anyway.
so exactly. So, but it looked like we were doing a drug transaction.
Yeah, so you pulled up, he came out, you handed something to him, he walked back in the
No,
house.
you missed it.
We're not going to argue about it.
I came from this way went around, took him home,
I saw where
dropped
you came
him
from.
off.
I saw where you came from.
And I dropped him off to his house.
Okay.
He left his cup here because I'm tired of his shit being in my car. I beeped the horn, gave him his cup.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay. Do you have anything illegal in the car?
No.
Okay. You don't have any crack?
I don't.
Weed?
Sir, I'm a fucking business owner, okay?
Okay.
I don't have no crack. I don't have no weed. I don't sell drugs, do drugs, no none of that bullshit. It's not a question.
It was a question.
That's very derogatory for you to
derogatory?
say. Probably because I'm black. He was a black
So
man,
I already
and y'all
told you
think
that I
that we're.
couldn't
It
see-
looked
I
like
couldn't see- Are you gonna let me
looked
talk?
like we were
Or are you just
selling
gonna keep on
drugs. No, because I'm highly upset that you. I feel offended.
upset.
I know. That's. Come on. What
I
we
don't
doing
care.
here? What we doing?
Would you be willing to let me search your car?
No. For what?
Well, because it looked like you did a drug transaction back
I
there.
gave him a coffee cup.
Okay. What kind of coffee cup?
It was a white fucking coffee
Why
cup.
are you screaming?
Because I can't believe because you
What
keep
can't you
saying
believe?
that we made a drug transaction.
And that's what it looked like. Okay? It's simple questions.
It isn't, sir. That's not fair. That's not
Well,
fair.
it's not fair. I'm sorry.
I know. And you police officers are horrible.
I'm horrible.
You
don't even know
police
me.
officers, sir.
don't
What
even know me.
what we going to do,
So
sir?
now you're grouping me into a group of people.
And
right?
you're grouping me into a
I'm
group
not.
of people
I
where it
told
looked
you
like
I
I was doing a drug transaction.
You could have been Mexican, you could have been white, you could have been green, you could have been yellow.
And
I
I'm
don't
black,
know,
and
'cause
it
I
looked
can't
like that
see
I
through
was
this.
making a drug transaction.
Okay. All right.
And now you being a police officer, you people are horrible.
Tatum says she will seek legal action. Aisha Pinky Cole, the founder of the popular Slutty vegan franchise, is facing financial hardships again. This time, she's filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, citing nearly $1.4 million in debt. The filing comes just after Cole's announcement that she will make her reality television debut on the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Slutty Vegan began as a food truck in 2018. It quickly expanded to 14 locations at its peak, though several restaurants have since closed. According to court documents, Cole owes approximately $1.2 million to the U.S. Small Business Administration and about $192,000 to the Georgia Department of Revenue. The next step in the case is a bankruptcy teleconference scheduled for March 12th, with a reorganization plan due by June 12th. And fourth grader Honey Cooper may just be 9 years old, but she's already making college-level moves. The Kim Bark Elementary student in San Bernardino, California, spends her days like most fourth graders do, studying fractions, science, and reading. But outside her elementary classroom, Honey is sitting in on college art courses alongside much older students. Her mother says Honey, the youngest of five, taught herself to read as a toddler and has always shown an extraordinary curiosity and love of learning. The talent caught the attention of the Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, Sandra Rodriguez, who encouraged public school students to enroll in classes in San Bernardino Community College. Honey and her mother, Mia, talk about the once-in-a-lifetime experience for the fourth grader.
We're learning how to contract decimals into fractions. It's very different because in my fourth grade class, there's like a lot of people, like 33 people. And in the art class, there's only like 12 people.
Even though she's in the fourth grade, Honey's about at a seventh grade math level with reading. She's probably at a high 12th grade.
It really is a lot, but if you can really just balance and if you really balance it, and it could go really smoothly well.
Well, Honey says she dreams of becoming a surgeon, an artist, or even a fashion designer. Well, the Homeschool Yo Kid Expo is coming to the Midwest, Southeast, and West Coast. The traveling educational event is expanding to 13 more cities. It serves as a comprehensive resource hub for both new and experienced homeschoolers. The nonprofit organization kicked off the event in Oakland, California, January 31st. Now it will hit places like Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi, just to name a few. Each stop on the tour features interactive activities, inspiring speakers, curriculum, and enrichment vendors. The event is designed for parents and children Organizers are aiming to provide homeschooling resources and education to families across the country. For more information, visit homeschoolyokidsexpo.com. Well, coming up later on the breakdown, Purple Rose Petals is a group designed to help others release the burdens of life by creating safe spaces for Black millennials. The founder will tell us about the community-centered gatherings that's rooted in healing, coming up right after the break. But first, remember, for more news headlines and in-depth coverage 24 hours a day, please check out the Black Star Network. We are your source for stories that matter to our community. We'll be right back. You're watching The Breakdown with Brittany Noble on the Black Star Network.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
If in this country right now, you have people get up in the morning and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power, that's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
I'm Risa Colbert, and you're watching the Black Star Network.
Well, an organization called Purple Rose Petals is aiming to create safe spaces that create community-centered gatherings, conversations, and experiences for Black millennials. Shauna Dixon is a licensed clinical social worker who founded the group, helps to consult and facilitate curated in-person experiences, making it easy to exhale, connect, and establish emotional wellness within oneself. She joins us now. Shauna, thank you for joining us today on The Breakdown.
Hi, Brittany. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
Oh, I am doing well. Thank you for being here. I want you to tell us a little bit more about you and what inspired you to create Purple Rose Petals.
Yeah, definitely. So I am Shauna Rose, originally from Boston, but I've been in the DC area for about 10 years. I am a licensed therapist, like you said. And so being a therapist and just being a Black woman, I noticed that a lot of people in the Black community were going through mental health challenges, but did not feel comfortable accessing the traditional spaces, right? Stigma is a real thing. And I can be honest and say a lot of clinical language doesn't really feel relatable to the Black culture. So I said, hey, I need to make a change and I need to do something that will allow our people to feel safe and be in community and talk about mental health.
And I see that you focus on millennials. Why is that so important?
So I think for me, I think millennials, we are very unique in the sense of we are a little bit more open than our parents were and our grandparents were, but we're not yet there. We still need like a little push, right? And so I want to be that push that makes it normal to say, hey, I'm not okay. Like, hey, I need to talk about I'm depressed, I'm anxious, whatever it may be. So that's why I wanted to focus on millennials. I feel like we're the up and coming generation, and if we heal, that means the ones after us, our kids, everyone else will also be able to heal because we did the work.
Now, in your events, they are clinically informed trainings that help manage stress.
So actually, we have all different type of events, right? So we have community events. We've had things like game nights, mixers, open mic nights, journaling events. And so each event we focus on a different topic, right? We might talk about burnout or grief or depression, anxiety. And the goal is to make it feel normal. We don't want it to feel like therapy or a lecture. We want it to feel like, hey, we're just in community, just having conversation. Now we do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we do also do corporate training, so people can hire us to come into the workplace. But our main community events are more so fun. They're fun.
And how does that, I guess, prevent burnout?
Yeah, so I think just being in community helps us, right? Being able to talk about it, because if you're someone that just goes, you think that's normal, right? But if you're in community and we're having a conversation about burnout and you realize, oh, it's okay for me to rest. My counterparts are resting, so why can't I? Right? So we're just trying to normalize the conversation around all things mental health, not just burnout, but everything mental health related.
And tell us a bit about some of the other tools that you give participants who attend your sessions.
Yeah, definitely. So the goal is that everyone leaves the sessions with some practical tools or techniques that they can use on a day-to-day. And so it would depend on what event they're coming to, right? So I just did an event last week on stress. And so we went over some breathing techniques. We went over some grounding techniques. We talked about putting routines into place. We talked about doing small anchors where every day you do something that normalizes your day, right? So every morning, maybe you're picking out your clothes the night before to go to work, or on Sundays, maybe you're making the menu for the week when it comes to food, so you're not rushing or overthinking during the week. So little things like that is the goal, like just little nuggets we give people.
Do you have any advice for people right now that are trying to navigate anxiety and manage stress?
So what I will say just in general is I want people, especially Black millennials, to remember when we think about our parents and our grandparents, right? They were in survival mode. They had no choice. They were working multiple jobs. They were facing racism, discrimination, trying to build a better life for us. So they didn't have the time to even think about what depression might be or what anxiety might be. So now it's up to us to honor their sacrifices, right? And part of honoring that looks like prioritizing our mental health and our wellness. And so wanting everyone to remember that mental health is not just therapy. Mental health is community. It's taking up space. It's being in safe spaces where we can talk about how we're feeling. And it's giving ourselves permission to relax.
Shauna, what do you feel like could be the biggest challenge for people going through mental health crisis?
It's the stigma. It's the stigma that we've been told that having a mental illness is weakness, right? And that is not true. Mental health is just as important as our physical health. You don't have to always wait until you're in crisis to get help. But if you do need to get help, it's okay. We are here for you. There's a lot of Black clinicians in the DMV area specifically that we can help you. So come to us. Come talk to us.
And what about those people that may feel like they live on an island and they don't have any community? What guidance would you give them to overcome this feeling as they begin their healing?
Yeah, so I think remembering if start off with virtual stuff, right? We also host virtual monthly events. Maybe you're not comfortable coming in person yet, do a virtual event. You can have your camera off and just hear other people talk about their stories. I think that's the biggest thing. When you hear other people start to talk, you realize that you are not alone.
Well, tell us how people can take part in your next event, Shauna.
Yeah, definitely. So follow us on Instagram at Purple Rose Petals or visit our websites, purplerosepetals.com. Our next event is called Nourish Her. It's going to be on March 21st. We're going to be talking about how gut health, hormones, all of that relates to our mental health and our emotional well-being.
All right, Shauna, thank you so much for joining us today on The Breakdown. We appreciate your insight and the work that you're doing with Purple Rose Petals. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Absolutely. All right, coming up on the other side of the break on The Breakdown. Did you miss Roland Martin Unfiltered last night? No worries. We'll have highlights after the break. Stay with us. And have you come across a news story that deserves our attention? We want to hear from you. Please, we want you to submit your questions and your comments, your thoughts. There's a QR code, and this is how we can connect with each other, okay? So scan that QR code. Let us know what's on your heart, and we will be right back after a quick break. Stay with us.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
Hey y'all, welcome to The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network and hosted by myself, Bria Baker, and my good sis, Jamira Burley. We are just two millennial women tackling everything at the intersection of politics, gender, and pop culture.
And we don't just settle for commentary. This is about solution-driven dialogue to get us to the world as it could be and not just as it is.
Watch us on the Black Star Network, so tune in to The Other Side of Change.
Well, in today's Black and Missing, family and friends need your help finding their loved one. Grongi Ward, he went missing in Atlanta, Georgia, February 14th, 2004. Ward is now 49 years old and was last seen around 3 o'clock p.m. in the vicinity of Springfield Court. Ward, wearing an orange Belvoir jogging suit with gray trim and possibly a silver chain necklace with a silver cross pendant. He also has a cross tattoo on his back. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance are still unknown, but if you know anything about where he could be, please contact the Fulton County Police. The number is 404-699-4210. Well, in case you missed it, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's credibility crumbled during a hearing on Capitol Hill on Tuesday. Roland Martin has a recap.
Ice Barbie Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, testified before Congress, and man, she got her ass lit up by Republicans and Democrats over a variety of issues, including the killing of 2 Americans by ICE agents, and of course, that plane, that some call a love nest, that with a bedroom that they picked up. So we're gonna show you some of the grilling, which was actually pretty interesting. First up, I'm going to play Senator Richard Blumenthal. He, of course, of Connecticut, had a woman stand up who survived being shot 5 times by Border Patrol agents. Folks, this was riveting. Watch this.
Miramar Martinez is with us today as well. She's standing right behind you. She was on her way to donate clothing at her church when she came across an unmarked car. The agents sideswiped her car. 3 masked agents in camouflage stormed out, and one of them pulled out his gun and fired at her moving vehicle, hitting her 5 times. She almost bled to death. Wouldn't you agree that shooting Miramar Martinez on her way to donate clothing at her church, a United States citizen from Chicago, is wrong?
Sir, I don't know the situation or the case. I'll look into it to ensure that all the procedures are followed properly.
Miramar, by the way, was falsely charged with impeding law enforcement, but the case actually fell apart. The judge dismissed it as being trumped up. He dismissed it with prejudice. And in fact, the agent who shot her, I'm not going to name him, but you know who he is, was quoted on social media the day or so afterward. And he said, quote, "I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes." Put that in your book, boys.
Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana challenged Noem. Remember she said that the 2 folks who were shot and killed in Minneapolis, they were domestic terrorists? And then she said that, on the record, she said that, well, I was just listening to Stephen Miller. She then lies to Congress. Listen to this.
The 2 killings in Minneapolis, and I think there's a lot of video on them, Madam Secretary. I think people can see the video and draw their own conclusions. Are you and your department conducting an investigation of those?
Sir, the investigation is being led by the FBI. HSI was involved. In fact, our HSI agents on the ground.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got so little time. I believe at the time you said these were acts of domestic terrorism. Is that right?
Sir, in answer to questions at the press conference that afternoon, it was that it appeared to be.
Yeah, but you said these appeared to be acts of domestic terrorism.
And as I've said previously in this hearing, is that
first, Madam Secretary, did you say
we're getting information from a chaotic scene on the ground and relaying information to the American people.
Okay. Now, again, those videos are public. People can draw their own conclusions. I think it'd be safe to say you got some pushback on that. Mm-hmm. Would that be fair?
Yes, sir.
And you got some criticism. I'm not saying the criticism was accurate or inaccurate. I think you did. What got my attention was that you blamed those statements on Mr. Stephen Miller at the White House. Did you not?
No, sir, I did not. And in fact, where you're seeing that is in a news article of anonymous sources. And anonymous sources say a lot of things, but I've never said that at all.
Well, here's what you said on the record. I'm going to read your words. Quote, everything I've done at the direction of the president and Stephen.
Sir, where did you see me say that at? You read that in a
was
news
reported
article with no sources
you said it on
affiliated
the
to
record on January 27th of 2026. Did I read your words accurate?
I enjoy working with the president and with Stephen Miller, and that day we were working to get as much information to the American people as possible. That is what we'll continue to do, and as that happens, we'll go forward.
Do you think it was fair to blame Mr. Miller?
Sir, I did not do that. You're reading from a newspaper article with
Yes, ma'am.
anonymous sources.
Are you denying that you said that?
Sir, I'm not going to speak to that situation that is relayed on anonymous sources that no
This
one has
wasn't
heard me
anonymous.
say that.
It was you.
No. Who
I mean, you
reported
said
that
it.
to that newspaper?
They're quoting you on the record, saying it's Stephen's fault. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And throwing an uppercut, but that was blocked.
Oh my God, she was straight up lying. She was straight up lying, y'all. She just straight up lying. Senator Cory Booker lit that ass up as well. Watch.
It is an idea that the government has a very high standard should they take away liberty and freedom from an American citizen. How many U.S. citizens has DHS detained as of last October?
Senator, if you're talking about detained and arrested, is that those that have been violating and obstructing our law enforcement operations? Is that what you're referencing? Because it could be hundreds and hundreds. We have faced violent riots across the country,
You are
specifically
saying
in Portland and in
the only
Minneapolis.
people you've detained are committing crimes, but you and I both know
No, I
that's
haven't
not true.
said that. I didn't
so
say
then
that. I
how
asked
many
which ones you
people
were referencing.
have you detained?
I can't give you an accurate number because we've literally detained and arrested many for those obstruction of law enforcement operations, and
So
also
public
others
records,
that had probable
let me tell you what
cause
my staff researched.
and then released
May
once
I
yes.
continue? Public records are showing that over 170 incidents of your agency unlawfully taking away the liberties and freedoms of American citizens. This includes 20 children, 20 American kids that your agency detained. How long can your agency detain an American citizen?
We don't detain children and separate them from their parents. Those parents have chosen
You're telling me
to keep
under
their
oath
child
right now.
with
Hold on.
them.
I just want to be clear. You're telling me under oath right now that your agency has not detained American children.
Those parents have chosen to keep their children with them. We don't separate families like the Biden
hold on.
administration
Let me
did.
continue.
We keep them together, and parents
please
have the
let me
option
continue.
on if they want their child with them or not with them.
How long do detentions last when you detain an American citizen? How long do they last?
We don't detain American citizens, and if there's probable cause.
Let me give you, because you are not speaking truthfully under oath. Isaiah Pena Salcedo, a U.S. citizen living in California, was detained more than 70 hours, almost 3 days, even after he showed ICE agents his passport. My colleague, Senator Blumenthal, gave you example after example. He brought people here who had something else we Americans consider sacrosanct, our home, our property. Your masked agents jumping out of unmarked cars have broken into considerable property damage occurring into American citizens' homes. Case after case of this, and you sit here before me and claim the buck stops with you, but you don't even know the names of these individuals. I ran New Jersey's largest municipal police department. When my officers engaged in misconduct, you can be damn well sure I knew about it and I investigated it. And yet you have situations where your officers are violating the sanctity of people's homes, arresting and detaining them and holding their children, and you're acting as if you don't know about it and saying that under oath. Miramar Martinez, who is here right now, on her way to church, an American citizen going to church, not just to worship, but to donate clothing, your officers shot her multiple times. The case was thrown out of court, and you represent here that you don't know about it. In New Jersey, are you aware of your officers' activities in places like schools? Are you aware of your officers' activities at our public schools?
Sir, we don't go into schools and do targeted law enforcement operations. We do targeted law enforcement operations like other agencies
So you're
and law
telling me that
enforcement
ICE
do.
officers entered the grounds of a high school in Minneapolis? That's a fact. Elementary school children in New Jersey are terrified of your agents. When they came upon a school bus stop, they fled. Another school, a higher education, Columbia University, your agents reportedly lied to students, told them they were searching for a missing person to gain access to private spaces, to non-public areas of campus. Secretary Noem, these are kids. They're terrified in our communities. How do you think that affects them when children in my state go running, fleeing, and often you all pursue children, throwing them to the ground, getting on their backs, putting them in handcuffs? I want to talk to you about this incredible empire of for-profit companies that are profiting at rates we've never seen, and the way you're using money. Let's drill down on the warehouses that DHS has been buying over the last several months, totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. Are you familiar with the acquisition of a warehouse DHS recently bought in Roxbury Township, New Jersey?
Yes.
You are familiar with that?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Do you
familiar
know
that
how
it's...
much you spent for it?
No, sir, I do not.
$129.3 million. Do you know how much it was assessed for in New Jersey?
Sir, we're purchasing centers across the country to build efficiency into our detention system.
Efficiency to
so that
me,
we
as a
can...
person who's run tight budgets before and had taxpayer dollars, you paid $129.3 million for a facility in my state that was assessed at less than half of that, at $62 million. To work for a president that says he's a great deal maker, I can't believe he thinks that you're a great deal maker. But what's worse than that is that the Roxbury Township Council, comprised entirely of Republicans, voted unanimously early this year to oppose that facility. My office tried to facilitate a meeting between DHS and local officials so that ICE could hear their concerns, yet DHS did not even respond. That is unacceptable, that you all would enter a town. You wouldn't even follow environmental reviews or have conversations with local officials about the resources, from emergency resources to fire resources and more, that you're going to pull down. You didn't even have a conversation. Secretary Noem, do you comply with court orders?
Yes, we do comply.
Your agency
with court
complies
orders.
with court orders.
Yes, we comply with federal court orders.
You were saying under oath that you do, and yet we know in January the chief judge, Republican appointed for the Federal District of Minnesota, found that ICE had violated nearly 100 court orders since January 1st alone. In my state of New Jersey, last month, the chief of staff to Deputy Attorney General admitted in my state that in the New Jersey District Court that the government had violated 52 separate court orders, all involving cases where immigrants successfully challenged the legality of their detention. So this again is a constitution that you swore an oath to, and one of the most important ideals is that no one is above the law. You are violating the separation of powers, violating court orders, and routinely violating the civil rights of Americans. This is a reckless and out-of-control agency that you are responsible for. You seem to have no situational awareness whatsoever of some of the most egregious examples of Americans being completely attacked violated, undermined in accordance with our laws by their own government. And this is what is phenomenal to me, is immigration was your president's #1 issue, overwhelmingly popular with the American people. But now it's overwhelmingly unpopular. And it's not because you are deporting dangerous people that everybody here wants out of our country. No, it's because you're going into our schools. You're terrorizing our children. You're detaining children. You're arresting Americans. You're breaking into our homes. You're terrorizing our streets. You're violating our rights to peacefully protest again and again and again.
None of
and then
that
when
is
a
true.
court tells you
None
to
of
stop,
that is true.
and then when a court
You are
tells you
trying
to stop,
to impede
you
us
violate
from enforcing
judges'
the law
orders, not in
and
a
getting
partisan
dangerous
way,
criminals off of our streets
Republican-appointed and
so we don't have more
Democratic-appointed.
families like the ones that are
Don't
sitting
sit
behind
there
me.
and tell me that
Lost
you are
their children. They're
responsible
gone forever.
for the running of your agency when you're not even aware. Either you are utterly incompetent or you are violating laws with impunity. You should step down from your position. If you don't, you should be removed by this president. And if not, Congress should impeach you. Yeah.
Well, tonight, Roland will speak with Lieutenant General Russell Honorer about the U.S. role in the Iran conflict, and Illinois Congresswoman Robin Kelly will discuss her stance on the Iran conflict and her decision to run for Senate. Coming up on the breakdown, an organization is working to end the stigma around mental health for men by creating a safe space for them to let their guards down. The founder, Keith Baker, tells us how his own journey has led him to a bigger mission. And if you love the work that we do, know that your support is critical to what we do. Please support us via Cash App using the Stripe code in the bottom left-hand corner there. You can also help us out with credit cards. Use the same thing. PayPal's R. Martin Unfiltered, Venmo's RM Unfiltered, Zelle at RolandSMartin.com, Rolling at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. If you're old school, you can send checks and money orders payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Our goal is to raise $1 million by December 31st, and we really, really appreciate your support. We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, welcome to The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network and hosted by myself, Bria Baker, and my good sis, Jamira Burley. We are just two millennial women tackling everything at the intersection of politics, gender, and pop culture.
And we don't just settle for commentary. This is about solution-driven dialogue to get us to the world as it could be and not just as it is.
Watch us on the Black Star Network, so tune in to The Other Side of Change.
Violent white supremacy is, quote, the most persistent and lethal threat in the homeland.
The greatest terrorist threat to the homeland is the homegrown violence stream, including hate crime committed on behalf of some kind of white supremacist ideology.
They are coming after everything in Black America. MAGA and Donald Trump are specifically targeting Black America. They are going after the money. Attack Black Lives Matter. Attack critical race theory. Attack woke, DEI. MAGA wants to defund Black America. This is a perfect example of their desire to completely degrade and de-emphasize Black people.
Hi, I'm Swing Cash, Basketball Hall of Famer, and you're watching Black Star Network.
Well, an Indianapolis-based organization is working to end the stigma surrounding men's mental health. While many do not often speak about it, mental health issues are common among Black men. A 2021 national survey on drug use and health published by the University of Michigan School of Public Health found that 21% of Black and African Americans who had a mental health concern, only 39% of these men received mental health services. And as early as 2025, 13% of Black men face higher rates of suicide. Keith Baker, founder and executive director of Men to Health, is aiming to end that trajectory. Keith, welcome to The Breakdown. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to start this organization.
Well, the biggest inspiration is that I actually needed the services myself. So like I didn't have a group of people to be around that helped me through my hard times, especially those times I deal with as a man, being with other guys, you know, just to have a camaraderie built around healing, you know what I mean? So it kind of started when I went to rehab. So I'm 10 years, well, I'll be 10 years clean this year, but when I first went to rehab, I received services that I never thought I'd get and stuff that helped me that I never thought that would ever help me, as far as like meditation and counseling and just getting my feelings off my chest. So a few years down the line, after I got clean and came back home, I thought to myself, like, man, it'd be dope to have this for guys, like for just a group of fellas to be able to come together and be vulnerable. So one day I just hopped up and was like, hey, I'm about to start mental health. I like doing the play off of words. So like mental health and mental health, it just rolled off the tongue good. So I did that, created the logo, and just thought about what I could do. I'm not a counselor. I don't consider myself a public speaker or anything like that. So the thing that I like to do the most is kick it. So I decided to create events surrounded around men's mental health and just having a good time, and at the same time being able to talk about things that we got going on in our life.
And tell us a little bit more about the events that you've been able to bring men together for.
It started with the walk. We had a men's mental health walk. And then after the men's mental health walk, I did a father-son bonfire. So we bonded over marshmallows and played games. And I had another event called Men's Mental Health Day, which was like the biggest event. And it was, I had four speakers. About 100 men came and showed up. Over 100 guys came in and showed up. We did a walk that day too with affirmations, yoga, had a DJ, I had a live painter there. We had it at the Frederick Douglass Center. So it was pretty big. It was pretty big.
And this is in Indianapolis?
Yes, this is in Indianapolis.
What has been?
I'm sorry.
No, tell us.
I just wanted to put it out there. It was in Indianapolis, but my goal is to have this worldwide.
Oh, that's good. Tell us more about your goals.
Oh man, we'll be all day with my goals. But so the vision is the big picture is to have every man in every color, because although right now it's all about me building with my brothers, at the same time we in a world full of different people. And if we heal and they don't heal, then it seems like no purpose, because it's just gonna keep on pushing us back, because we'll have to keep on fighting. If we can heal together, you know, I think it'll help the bigger picture.
And tell us more about how do you hope to help other men overcome their mental health challenges by the work that you're doing?
Just breaking down the barriers and the stigmas. It seems like we have a better chance of talking about our mental health or something like that if it's in a setting where we kind of don't have to have our guard up. So it seems like at every event I have, like the guard is broken, the ice is broken, we having a good time, and we can talk about those things that we don't normally talk about on a day-to-day. If we talking like if somebody just asks me how am I doing, I'm like, I'm cool. You know, we don't really tell people how we really feel. So having these events and just having fun seems to like break the ice to be able to talk about more vulnerable stuff and people just knowing what they coming for.
Why do you think there is such a stigma surrounding therapy and voicing mental health concerns for especially Black men?
Trust. I feel like one is trust, and then two is that we not raised to go to therapy. We not raised to show our feelings. We always, if I was looking on TV as a kid, I always seen white people on the couch talking to another white person. You know what I mean? We don't think about, like, even with me going to rehab, I never thought that I could go to rehab using insurance. I never thought that I could use different things to, like, we think we got to pay for it. Like, everything is out of pocket. You're gonna have to pay for this. This costs so much. It's just a lot of barriers that we put in our own minds that we don't research. And that's another thing, just having resources at my events where people can see that, hey, you don't have to do all that. Like, these people have free services here. These people have insurance here. These people just, volunteer and stuff like that. So just breaking it down to people so they could see that it's not that hard to do these things. We make it hard for ourselves.
Any suggestions for what we as Black women can do to support the Black men in our lives going through challenges?
Man, my wife is the perfect example. She listens to me. She doesn't judge me. Just loves me in those moments. If there's nothing she feel like she could say, she just there to lend a shoulder. But the non-judgment is the biggest thing. If that man is going through things, a lot of stuff that we do, and some of the times we might lash out or have an attitude or whatever in that moment, you know what I'm saying? Just try to figure out what's going on first, and then go from there. But I always try to understand and see what's going on behind the scenes and check on him when he's quiet.
Yeah. Do you have any big events that are coming up? Another Men's Mental Health Day?
I'm actually working on Men's Mental Health Day as we speak.
Okay.
I don't have everything mapped out yet. I want this year to be bigger than last year. I'm reaching out to speakers and trying to get the vendors and everything solidified right now, and the location. So it's like in the baby stage right now, but I love this part of it. I just like planning events and then just seeing like what comes out of it. And if I just reach one person, I feel like I did my job.
Is there anything we can do to help support you in bringing another Men's Mental Health Day to life?
If anybody out there, if you have any resources or anybody that's willing to speak or wants to be involved, come volunteer in Indianapolis or anywhere in the world. If you want to put on a Men's Mental Health Day, I'm looking forward to connecting with people and traveling and making this thing bigger than life.
All right, Keith. Well, thank you so much for bringing your story here on The Breakdown. Keith Baker, the founder and executive director of Men to Health. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on your platform. I appreciate it.